Hi, and welcome to another episode of Out and About with Kaza. This is our last episode, and so we'll be back in the fall with more shows. But we have one more left. Last but not least, we're going to talk employability at Kaza. And to tell us more about this, we have a special invite today, Cindy Carney. Welcome, Cindy.
Thanks.
So you're working at Kaza, Cindy?
Yes, I do.
How long have you been there?
I've been at Kaza for 5 years. November would be 5 years.
It'll be 5 years in November, so
Yep.
you're getting the lay of the land.
Yeah.
You're from the Gaspé?
I am.
Where are you
Originally from Port Daniel. I moved to New Carlisle about 15 years ago.
Okay.
And I've been in New Carlisle ever since.
Ever since?
Yeah.
Cool. And you've come to Kaza 5 years ago?
Yes.
So you're the employability coordinator at
Yes.
Kaza. So tell me about what is employability at Kaza? What are some of the services that you guys do?
Some of the services, we help with job search. We help reintegration into the workforce. So it would be somebody who maybe was home raising their kids, that's not really sure how to get back into the workforce, and we help them and guide them along the way if there's additional training that they want, or kind of guide them in their journey.
Okay, so really a whole host of things.
Yes.
Now I know at Kaza, we're not an employability organization per
No.
se, but we work with partners, obviously.
Yes, yes.
And so Carrefour Jeunesse, Service de l'Emploi,
Service Canada, CGEs, yeah.
And so we can also help to guide people to those services.
Yes, we do.
If we need to.
If we need to, yeah.
Okay.
And we work well with the other partners, so it's a good collaboration.
Yeah, good. And so let's say job search. Give me a little bit of a description of what that might look like.
Well, it ranges on different things. It could be somebody moving from Ontario that is new to the region, unilingual, so they're looking for something specific. So I meet with them, have kind of like an intake of what their background is, what their education is, what they're looking for, and we kind of make that perfect match with what we can find on the Gaspé.
Cool. So you really go according to the profile of the person that presents in front of you.
Absolutely, it's really a unique person by person.
Right. And we have, obviously, through our partners, we must know about the jobs that are out there.
Yes.
Too.
Yes.
So we're able to guide people towards those jobs. Let's say I need a CV. What do I do then?
Well, we can guide as well, and we also have partners like Horizon Emploi that helps with CV writing as well, or we can help them in that, or in translation if they have one in French, and we can translate into English.
Nice. So really, we can bring other resources to bear if we need like someone to do a CV, or if we need someone to, I don't know what the other services might be other than job searching and CVs. So we also do special programs for people who are far away from the...
Yes, we do. We have the Sully program, which is kind of, we found that there was an age gap that we weren't really targeting people, so it's people that are a little bit older, that maybe was out of the job market or reintegration, so we have the Sully program, and we also have programs, we had programs that like the PPE, which is Préparation pour l'Emploi. So it was people that are a little bit further from the job market, and we kind of guide them. It was a 30-week program, so it was 14 weeks kind of in class, where we kind of give them the tools to put into the backpack to be active members of the community, and then it was 16-week stage. So after that 16-week stage, they were able to either stay at that employment, or they had enough hours that they were able to have their unemployment through it.
Okay, cool. So these are people that aren't currently in the employment hemisphere in the system. They've been away from the job market, like you said, either raising kids or maybe due to an illness or...
Anything. We've seen them from teachers that had their jobs and didn't really need their CVs, will want to go back and do online learning through online courses, and are not really sure how to do it. So we kind of bring them in and make give their coaching.
I find that these PPEs that we call them, but they're really preparing for employment programs. We do more than just kind of CVs and... We do.
There's a lot of conflict in the workplace, workshops, budgeting. We have legal people that come in through different partners, through Educaloa and Proximity, to kind of give them the background and maybe things that they didn't know. So any laws, regulations that are that they're going to maybe come up and see in their jobs.
That's amazing. So kind of preparing people to begin to look for a job.
Yeah.
So maybe soft skills.
And how to talk and how to budget, and how to have, if there's a conflict in the workplace, well, how do we resolve it without walking or storming out?
How to be part of a team.
How to be part of a team. There's a lot of different things that we do as well.
Kaz has been doing them for quite a while?
20 years.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah,
So we've
so
done
it's, yeah.
a number of cohorts.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to act like I don't know anything about this, but I work at CASA, so of course I do. And I'm always proud when I go into a business in Passivhac or around the coast, and I bump into somebody who's one of our programs.
Yeah.
And now they're working full time. So that's awesome.
And we have about an 80 through our programs for the last, I'd say, all our years. Our success rate is 80+%.
Nice.
That keep the job and continue to work there or go on to bigger and better jobs.
Cool, because we really build them up, so we give them the soft skills and the social skills.
And it's the extra courses, so some of them will get their food handling course, which is the manager's course. That's with them for life. CPR, ASP construction safety course. It's all things to put in their backpack that they'll be able to carry with them the rest of their life.
So yeah, stacking up their CV and making them better candidates when they get there.
Absolutely.
And then the stage part. So we actually work with local employers.
We do.
And say we have these participants in the stage. You said it's how long?
16 weeks.
16 weeks. So we actually place them in a business for 16 weeks.
Yeah, we kind of match them with what the employer is looking for, and after the 14 weeks, we know our participants fairly well. We spend 8 hours a day with them every day, so we kind of get to know what their needs are and what their strengths and their weaknesses, and kind of have that perfect match for them to be in that employment, because we want them to succeed.
Yeah, for sure.
So we kind of make that perfect match, and yeah.
If somebody's interested in construction, we might not put them in a hair salon.
No,
we want them to enjoy their experience.
Yeah, and we do follow-ups with the employer and as well as with the participant as well, just to make sure that everything's going smoothly, and if there's any hiccups, so we can fix them along the way.
Nice. And you mentioned, like, how big is the group?
Between 8 and 12.
Normally between 8 and 12 for that period of time. And you said classroom. Is there an actual classroom?
Well, we usually rent a hall that we're in a class setting. They're in a room and we'll chat, and we don't jump in right away. We'll do creative things. We'll start cooking with them, or we'll take them to group activities. And so just to have that cohesiveness at that group setting, so they can work with people and just have it and it's not structured to say classroom. We kind of work with them and have that idea of a job situation. Right. So you come in at 8, well, if you arrive in at 8:30, well, we're going to have a chat. Right. So kind of keep them structured and keep them motivated. Those skills they're going to need to have to hold a job. Yeah, exactly. And I wanted to clarify the classroom thing, because I imagine some of these people probably haven't been in a classroom in a while. Exactly. So they might not look at that very favorably. No, this is it. But if it's it's more laid back than that, is what I understand. That's cool. And I know you just did a job fair recently, which was a pretty big event. It was. Tell us a bit about that. I started planning it in October of last year in partnership with the SSB. We invited our 5 Anglo schools, so it was Gaspé, Chandler, New Carlisle, New Richmond, and Escobonac. Because of the weather, 2 of our schools weren't able to make it, and it's understandable. But we had 37 employers come to the Centre Culturel, so everybody had their booth set up. We had, like I said, in partnership with the SSB, so we had a section education, and we had a section employers. So that's where we had the employers set up, that they were able to do recruitment, and we had a very broad variation of employment. So we had pépinière, baie des chaleurs, we had sergiem, we had morticians, we had Service Quebec, Service Canada, and it was all different aspects, and it was for the adults, the students and the adults to get that experience. And we had an afternoon for an hour and a half. We had it open to the public. Okay. So was it the Centre Culturel in Passivhac? Yes. What was the date that it happened? It was April 3rd. April 3rd, right. Around the time we were having our last storms. Yeah. Note to self, don't plan them around. No, we thought planning it early in April, we were clear of storms, but ended up having 3 that week. So. Murphy's Law. Exactly. So Eastern Shores was working with us, and so they were out there with all of the training that they offer through the Anchor. Yes, so they had the fisheries, the heavy equipment course. They had the simulator there, which was really cool. They had the hands-on experience. Barbara was there, fisheries. Emily Woods was there to answer any questions. Diana Wiley was there for the nursing. Trevor Renoff, so if there was any questions, they could have. And I really appreciated that approach. Is so somebody's in the main room and they meet up with an employer and say, hey, yeah, maybe I would like to be
X when I get older, and they could actually talk to the anchor professional services.
We had Sis de la Gaspésie that was there. They had 4 representatives and HR, so it was kind of like that pathway, so they could talk to the anchor to get the course and to start working at the CIS. So it was really...
And the CIS is the healthcare...
Yeah, our healthcare services.
It's Santé Intégrée, Service Santé Sociale. I was trying to figure out if I could say it out properly, but I can't. It's the healthcare system.
Yes, yes.
And one of the things that was striking to me is just like you said, the varied career opportunities, but the demand. Like there's a lot of people that are looking for people to work.
Yeah, I try to break the stigma for people to say, oh, there's no jobs on the Gaspé, where there's lots and lots in all departments, in forestry, in fishing, in labor, like the plumber that we had spoke to. He's willing to hire somebody, and the only English course that's given is in Montreal. So if somebody wanted, you know, he was willing to try to hire somebody that was willing to work. So, but there's lots of...
There was even somebody from Raglan.
Raglan Mines was there for, yeah.
So recruiting for people that wanted to do fly-in, fly-out type work.
She was in charge of the 5 mines that are there, so the gold mines and the ore mines that are there. So she was, yeah.
And we talked about the plumber, so a lot of skilled trades, and I think that was very popular with, we had some of the students from the anchor come over, as well as the general public.
Yes, in the afternoon we had 63 adults come through between 12:30 and 2 o'clock, so it was nice to...
I've heard some personal anecdotes of people who dropped off some CVs and got some leads on some jobs while they were there, so I think it was a success.
I think, yes, yeah.
And in the future, are we going to do another one?
I'd love to. I'm thinking of going bigger and better.
Bigger and better? So what's your idea there?
Bigger venue, so we can have, because I keep hearing people, oh, if I would have known, I would have wanted to go, if I would have known. So it was just to get a bigger venue that I kind of have in mind already.
Right.
And
like the stadium in Montreal.
Oh, well, let's try. Yeah, so we're going to do something bigger. I'm looking at about between 50 and 60 employers, and to really have like a nice big education side and more hands-on, more, yeah.
We talked about maybe even inviting the French school.
Yeah, absolutely.
From René Lévesque, because it just makes sense. The employers that were there, everybody spoke both languages.
Yep.
And so why not involve them in that activity and make it bigger and better? Yeah,
and include the trades, include the plumbing, the electrician course in Bonaventure, include Carleton, really bring them in.
So you bring up a good point earlier about if I had known. And I think that's a challenge that we have through all of our programs at CASA is how do you reach people? Like, you know, I'm at home and I'm watching this TV show and I want to know more about the services at CASA, employability services at CASA, or if I'm looking for a job, what do I do? How do I get a hold of you? It's our employability.
Yeah, our employability program. So that's that Facebook page, or you can contact me at CASA 752-5995 extension 116.
Extension 116 will get you to talk to Cindy.
Yep.
The CASA Facebook page is Committee for Anglophone Social Action.
Yes.
Facebook is probably the most up-to-date page.
Yes.
We have our website. Like if I'm looking for jobs, do I find those on the Rise page as well?
You can find them. We post once or twice a week on the Rise page. If not, if it's something really specific that you're looking for, feel free to contact me.
So I think the message is if the person at home or somebody they know, maybe a loved one or a family member, is ready to get back into the workforce or looking to get a better job or anything related to employment. Even
to deal with trades or anything, education, academic, we're in close contact with the anchor, so we always reach out to the workers over there and we can work it out. So no matter what the question is, if we don't have the answer, we know find somebody. We know who to call, which is really awesome. We have a great resource. We have your network is solid, and I think that's one of the successes of the employability thing. Well, I really appreciate you coming to tell me about it. Thank you. Hopefully that you'll have a lot more phone calls now that more people are learning about it. Yes. And I look forward to maybe we'll talk again after your next career fair. Absolutely. Looking forward to it. So if you or your family members are looking to get into the job market, just give us a call, CASA, 418-752-5995, extension 116. 116 if you want to talk to Cindy. Check out our Facebook page and stay tuned in the fall when we come back with more Out and About with CASA, where we'll be talking about everything of interest to the English-speaking community. I'm Alan Richards. Thanks for tuning in.